Here we are on our way to Sweden. We're actually making our way now rather than just talking about it. So
we talk about it because it's exciting.
yeah, we do talk about it. But one of the things I want to cover off first, before we get talking about other bits and pieces, is the warranty on the van. Now, we got 12-month warranty with the van, and because of the nonsense we had last November, December time with picking up the van, the hab check not being available, so they posted it, the shock horror when we found out, you know, it was reporting 40% damp in the garage, and all the problems with that. I said to the dealer, who I'm going to name now, the dealer we bought from was Highbridge Caravans down in Devon, and after their salesman effectively sort of misled us, their service department seemed really helpful, although it cost us a load of money to take the van back, because we had to go into an Airbnb for 4 nights down there. Although we got a bargain because of the time of year. It was 50 quid a night, but that was still £200 plus the 70-80 quid of driving the van back down there and back up here. But fair enough, they did loan us a car, so and I thought, oh, okay, they're doing their best, because they took a day and a half to check the van over, to check the damp, and they said, oh no, well, anyway, we went back to collect the van, and they assured us that they'd fixed up everything in the van, showed us the damp check again, showed us that they'd deployed somebody that wasn't really experienced on damp checking, and so they'd got it wrong, and that the damp was at a reasonable level, 15 to 18% all around, where we were worried about. Completely dry everywhere else. And we took them at their word, because they were showing us, I'm no van engineer, so I took their word for it, and we went on our way. And they did fix up 1 or 2 other bits and pieces. But I did say to them, and this is a big thing, I said, look, I don't trust you at all. I don't trust you. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a habitation check done at an independent place. That the place that was recommended was Reliance Caravan Motorhome Services, so generally called Reliance CMS, near Chichester, recommended by the Debt Left's Owners Club. And what I can say about them is that they are brilliant. Just really, really attentive. Just really good. So they checked the van over, and we sent the report back to Highbridge on the basis, and I said, look, what we want to do is we want to have the van repaired, because they were saying, well, there's 22% damp in both corners at the back and on the little riser. Plus, they said, because they're Debt Left's accredited, they said, look, there's a bit of a odd reading in the doors, in one of the doors. So if it's still under Debt Left's warranty, they would replace it. It's not under Debt Left's warranty, because from year 2, the required underseal spray hasn't been done. We didn't know about that, so So not under debtor's warranty, but I did say to them, to the Highbridge, look, I want Reliance CMS to do all that, and in between times the cab aircon stopped working. It turns out that that's driving damage, stone chips coming up, so not under warranty. But what the Highbridge wanted to do, after about a week of mulling it over, after I'd sent them all the report and they'd agreed that Reliance could do the work, once they saw the quote from Reliance, they said, we need senior management to authorise it. So, and then they came back a week later and said, you need to return the van to us. And given, I mean, one of the issues that we found was the TV aerial, or the not the TV aerial, the solar panel cable gland. That's all starting to wear away, starting to crack up, and that would be covered by warranty. Now it's amazing, isn't it, that Highbridge didn't reseal that when they said, oh, we've checked everything and it's all good, isn't it? I mean, you know, given that I already said, well, I don't trust you, and you know, my opinion is you've sort of misled us or lied to us about certain things. You know, the habitation check not being ready. It had been done a week at least before we picked up. It had been done on the 23rd of October. But he said, oh, it's just been done, you know, and so on. So, no trust there. Anyway, so given all the conversation I've had with Reliance and the fact that, I mean, they said, look, to replace the garage floor and the little riser at the back would be about £500. The doors, the garage doors, are 1,500 quid, so you know, you can say like £1,700 each to replace. But Reliance said, well, they're not going to fail, they're not going to, you know, and it was just a debt left's warranty thing. If it was covered, they just replace it, because it's sort of almost zero cost, the debt lefts. And the bit on the roof, you know, where the cable gland is just the sealant's cracking, you know, that's not going to be any money at all to do. So given all that, and given that we're not in a really bad position with damp in the garage, everything's dry in there, and I think it might be just getting better, but it would have been nice to have, I think, wouldn't it?
It would have been. So
given that it's 160 miles to Highbridge from where we normally are, and 160 miles back, and then they'd want it for a week, so that's at least £200 for an Airbnb, probably 3, maybe 4, especially at this time of year, you know, and we're preparing to go to Sweden, so it was all a bit fraught. So we've decided, haven't we? We spoke about it and thought about it and thought, well, okay, well, the payback isn't enough to get the work done under warranty. I mean, the garage floor doesn't need replacing, being nice to have. When it does, if it does at some point in the future, I think we'll just shell out the money to do it, and you know, just forget about the warranty. And by the way, I don't trust, we could drive all the way to Highbridge, put it in there, and they'd say, well, in our opinion, it doesn't need doing. So we'd have spent all that energy and mental anguish, wouldn't we?
We don't really.
Yeah. They'd have made it really difficult.
They're making it difficult for us, I think. I think they are.
So I've decided, and that's why I've decided to name the dealer we bought this from. You know, because I don't trust them. A, because they misled us at best about the HAB check. Who knows what else they've misled us about. You know, one of the issues we had was the brake fluid light kept coming on after we picked it up. It was supposed to, have a full service. So did they do a full service? I've no idea. I've since had it fully a major service done by Reliance. So there you go. So we're not going to get the warranty work done. We're just not going to take them up because I don't trust them. And I'm going to do the sealant for the cable gland, because you just clean it up a bit, reseal it, all good. And it's not leaking, by the way. It's not leaking. The garage is not wet. So there you go. So that's where we are with the dampness and the warranty, aren't we?
We are gonna have to drive with no aircon, which today it's 30 degrees, so we're really, it's a bit of a pain.
Because
that is a pain.
It went pop, so to speak, a few weeks ago, but then it took me a couple of weeks to work out, am I going to get it done on warranty? And when I sort of realised we weren't, I got a mobile aircon guy to come out, and he said, "Oh, you've had a leak in the condenser. That usually happens when you get a stone chip." And he sort of confirmed all that. So that would not be covered by warranty. So that's my cost to get that done. I think they're about 150 quid to buy the condenser, and then the work. You got to take all the front grille, headlights, all that's around, and then they're pretty easy to do. I'm tossing up whether to buy one and fit it myself. It's probably a couple of hours work for a mechanic, so it's probably 300 quid to get it redone, and then probably 100 quid to have it regassed. So we're looking at £400 or £500, but we'll have that done when we get back from Sweden, because we just can't get it done before we go, because of the time scale. So I'm feeling a bit,
I think we're going to take it very slowly driving through Europe, because Pippin can't take the heat now, and we can't really.
She can't. Yeah,
we
she
drive
can't
short,
yeah.
But I've been given some. The vet's given us some Trazodone, I think it is, because she gets very uncomfortable with the bumping and the heat.
Yeah.
Extra medication.
It's
We've just
like
spent
a
good bit of money. Getting more medication for her to
make her a bit
comfortable. Yeah,
make her a bit soporific, won't it?
Yeah, so I think we'll do it, but
zones her out a little
we'll
bit.
Take our time.
Yeah,
because we do everything for her.
Yeah. But I mean,
I was tossing up. I was thinking, shall we go or shall we not go? And then she seems to be steady, and then I think she's steady enough to go. And we've got some little ones very anxious for us to go, and I don't want to not to go, so we're going to go. This time, but we'll tell you about the journey, and you'll probably see. We'll follow us, and we'll just make it a bit longer. Yes, you'll come with us. And we're going to make it a bit longer and see.
But this time last year, almost exactly the same time, my sister's funeral.
Yes.
And then in between, when we were going to Spain.
On the way,
we normally go to southern Spain to visit my brother and his wife. While we were on our way there, we got news that he'd been taken ill and rushed to hospital and didn't survive.
No.
So he sort of, that was that's been hard for me to take. And then yesterday, my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, died a little while ago, so we went to his funeral yesterday. So that's 3 funerals in a year. Well, we didn't go to my brother's funeral, to John. because that's not the way it sort of goes out in Spain. They sort of,
it's a very quick. We
yeah,
couldn't get
within
there
a few
in time.
days
Yeah,
he was
couple of days,
cremated,
it was done.
and they didn't really have much of a service. It was like, so quick, let's get them done, you know, get them out of the way. So at some point there'll be a memorial service
Yes,
in the UK for my brother. Not supposed to be while we're in Sweden, but you
It's
know,
not going. It's be a bit later
not going
on,
to be. It's
and
gonna
I'm
be-
glad about that.
yeah.
We just
So
loved them all so much, and we
Yeah.
do miss them all. I think, you know, because we spent I suppose over 50 years, we've gone lots of things with them, holidays, and our kids are grown up with theirs, and it's just been such a
Well, we've been together for
Great
52 years.
yeah. So it's longer than that. You've known them
So-
longer than me. So I mean,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
anyway.
So
But we've got happy memories, so
one-
that's it,
yeah.
isn't it? Happy
Yes.
memories of them all.
we do.
Yes.
One of the things that comes out of people's passing is that you get stuff left behind. And from a year ago, my sister would collect all the family photographs. She had a Super 8 movie camera, blah blah blah. And yesterday at my brother-in-law's funeral, met up with my sister's son, and he delivered this little USB stick. He said there's a load of movies on there from way back, like 40 odd years ago, old video movies on there with us on them. So if it's appropriate, in one of the videos that's coming up, we'll share when I've had a chance to look at this. Unfortunately, this is a USB. It's got the standard USB thing on it, the USB-A, but my computer is USB-C only, so I've had to buy a converter thing. So I've got to see if that works, to plug it in, and if it does, I'll be, you know, sharing maybe a few little clips of us when we were in our younger years. I was going to say in our prime, but I think we're in our prime now.
Yeah.
I really do feel like that. We're in our
Yes.
prime
Yes,
now.
we do. Yes.
So that's that. So that's the habitation check, the warranty that never was, and summing up of the last
Yeah. So
terrible
just
12
if
months.
you can
yeah.
just get out and do things and enjoy everything.
What did
as
what
much
did
as
the
you
Queen
can,
say
yeah.
once?
What she say?
She said it's been Annus Horibilis, a horrible year. So I think that's how I feel. We've had some good times though,
Yeah, we
good
have,
times,
yes,
and we had some, you know, remembering good times as well. Yeah. So what's next? Meeting up with family. We're at the Telscombe Tavern at Telscombe, overlooking the sea. Luckily, because it's been so blooming hot, we were driving here today and the temperature was like saying external was like 29 or 30 degrees. And we had no air conditioning in the cab. Usually we wouldn't worry about it because the aircon really worked well.
And you're in so much traffic driving down south.
Is it
If
awful?
you're ever down south way, you
Yeah.
know what it's like.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like if you're going along the motorway at 60 miles an hour, it's good, it's a nice breeze, but
Yeah.
when you're stuck in traffic,
Yeah. So now
anyway.
and then what we're going to do is we're going to drive off to Canterbury. We'll bring you some tales from Canterbury. And then on the Wednesday we're off on the tunnel. And rather than, because we were going to go to Calais and then go a bit sort of southeast in Calais, from Calais down to a pre-booked air, on the camping car park card, but we've decided that what we'd rather do is go more sort of east directly, sort of slightly northeast in France towards Belgium, and go to a place, a little area that we found last year going there, that's near Ghent. Beautiful place. About 15 van places, toilets and showers are free, right by a canal. If we stay there for more than a day, we might get a bus ride into Ghent to see the city there. If not, we'll just carry on camping, carry on going, and then we don't know whether what other place. We'll sort of plan as we go.
Yes.
Plan
It
as we
depends
go.
how Pippin travels and what the weather's like and how we feel. We're not in a rush.
Yeah.
We won't be rushing it this
No,
time.
we think
No.
we'll take
Steady and slow. Yeah.
between 7 and 10 days to
Yeah, a
get to
little
do
bit,
the 1,200
yeah.
miles.
A little bit at a time. Yes. And we'll enjoy it. And
So-
have time to enjoy the places you can
Yeah.
stop at.
So we do a
Yeah.
couple hundred miles on a good day through Germany on the motorways. You can do sort of 300-400 miles, and it doesn't feel bad.
Especially on a Sunday if you do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
Saturday, Sunday. Yeah.
the roads are long and straight, and you just set it on cruise control and you keep going, and it's fine. So it's easy. It's easy driving.
And you can stop if you feel very tired
Yeah,
and you don't feel great. You can stop as long as you like at the service stations on the way, so you're not
Yeah.
under pressure.
indeed. Yeah. So that's the main thing. It's just making sure that we're not stressing Pippin out too much.
No.
Because she does. She had a busy day yesterday, and she's not been right today.
No.
When she lots of people around, meeting my sister's dogs again, and it's all sort of very exciting, and she just really collapses out after that. So, but we did go where have we been over the last? We parked the van at a pub stopover on the A243, just inside the M25, about a mile inside the M25. A pub called the Star. You can look it up online. The Star, Leatherhead.
It's on search for sites, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's on search sites. But they say, you can stay. It's all free to stay, but you come in and you have a meal. Well, some of the reviews, what the reviews said it was small portions and not very good, didn't they?
Yeah, and someone said, I think it was on TripAdvisor, that they're all on commission, so they pressurise you to. I was wondering why he kept on wanting us to keep booking a table and the time, because they're on commission.
Yeah,
and as soon as you get in the door, someone will keep coming up and trying to get you to have drinks, and then they go and get them, which is all very nice, but they work on commission there, so it's a bit high pressured.
It's a pub
Chain,
restaurant. You go in, there's a counter there that says wait to be seated. So then we got seated and we having a couple of drinks, and I asked the price of the beer that we ordered, and she said, "Oh, well, that one's $5.95." Oh, okay. Well, we'll stick to that one then. That seems all right. £6 a pint, fine. So then we sort of got the menus, and the price of the food was, well, let me say it this way, it's not what we used to. I thought it was quite expensive. A rump steak was like 25, something like that. Oh, you can look it up online, it was somewhere around there. But the shocking thing, it was like £2.50 for like a peppercorn sauce. £4 for onion rings. You think, oh, okay. Well, I ended up having a rack of ribs, and that was 23. But you know, I said to the waitress, "Oh, well, some of the reviews have said the portions are really small."
For the money.
For the money,
yes,
and
yes.
And I thought, and I said, you know, are the portions small? You know, should I have a half a rack or a full rack of ribs? And she said, well, you know, she was really non-committal. Like, I'm, you know, sort of suggested I had a full rack, so I did. Well, yeah, there was enough food, but not for £24. It was really expensive.
Well, there were a few fries, not many, and they were all skin-on fries, so they're all frozen. They're not triple hand cooked fries or nothing like that.
When do you want?
Just a few, no vegetables, no salad, nothing.
Well, here's the thing.
Nothing greenery. No.
Wendy had a burger. You had a double cheese bacon burger, didn't you?
Yeah.
Which I thought sounded really nice. It was dry, wasn't it?
Dry, nothing in it apart from a bit of sauce. It was
It's like really awful. And not only that, Wendy said, well, I don't want skin on fries. Can I swap those for chunky chips? Oh, yes, no problem. Oh, yeah. Well, they charged us £1 for changing that. The £1 isn't the issue, but she should have said, well, we'll need to charge you for changing that. Then I went and paid, and in my usual way, I just paid, and you know, and I walked away from the till with the receipt for £95. Pub stopovers, I've said this before, pub stopovers are more expensive than staying at a campsite. So 95 quid, and I started to think about it. I thought, I started to look at the bill. That's why I found like £1 extra for changing chips. Outrageous. But then right at the bottom it says 10% service charge. Well, I wouldn't have agreed to that. Jesus.
well, we didn't know it was going to be, did we? We didn't know.
It's like no wonder they wanted to bring your beers on a tray. The bar was like 15 feet away. I would have gone to the bar and bought my own drinks, but Jesus. So what else was wrong?
Well, I think
noisy car park.
Well, I think if you pay that money, you don't mind if it's beautiful food. That's the thing. I would have been happy if it was beautiful food and beautiful surroundings, but it was a little bit like just the windows were open because it was hot, right? And the big notice outside: do not smoke in this area. But everyone was smoking in that area.
Yeah.
No, nothing was done about it, and the glasses were like everywhere. They weren't.
Oh, they didn't clear up.
And there were wasps coming round.
Yeah.
So I thought,
They didn't clear up.
it wasn't. It was a bit of a shame, but anyway, there you go.
So we won't ever stay there again.
No, we won't. No.
That.
And it was noisy in the car, but I don't mind that. But the road was noisy, and there were lots of.
Unlike here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
here, and
we're
yeah.
right next to the A259 main coast road in Telscombe, between Brighton and Newhaven. So it's a popular stopover for the Newhaven ferry.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
And it is on a slope, like the car park's on a slope. So we've put our levelling blocks out on both on one side, and now we're pretty level. Sloping down that way a bit, it's a tiny bit. Won't affect us. But the food here can be variable. We've had a Sunday roast here, not to be recommended, even though it was really cheap.
It was only £10. I mean, it
was only
wasn't
£10.
expensive. You get what you pay for. It was.
Yeah, the value was £10, so it wasn't great.
It was.
But what we have had here is the little side dishes. When we've been here before, we've gone in and we've had a drink and some side dishes, and they've been really, really good. And we've really liked those.
Yeah.
Because you get, I think you get 4 for the price of 3. So you order 4 and you only pay,
I think
it's
it
like
was
£15
£50, yeah, that was
for
right.
4 little side dishes, and it was like garlic bread, fries, chicken wings, and something else. I can't remember what the other thing was. But it was really good. So the food here, if you get the side dishes, really great. Oh, onion rings. That's what the other thing was, onion rings. We've got all that for 15
It is
quid.
reasonable, and the beer is much cheaper, or the drinks, the vodka tonics, or whatever you want to have.
And that was enough snacky,
and you can
snacky
sit
food.
out behind your van on the cliff side, and you can see Brighton and everything. I really recommend this, and you can walk the cliff path to Brighton.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, beautiful.
So
beautiful. 10 out of 10 here. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So,
But not if you want fine dining.
Oh.
No.
Well. I mean, what you can do is you can park here. They don't insist you go in at all. You can park here. I mean, I think it's polite to go in and have a drink at least. But there's a great Indian restaurant just up the road, like 10-minute walk, and you can walk along the seafront here, along the cliff top, to the Melancho Lounge. Really nice Indian food there. There's pizza you can order, take away, and there's another pub just down the road, I think, that's got a bit of maybe a better food choice, but this is,
And you've got to be very thankful for them, and we always support them, because imagine this, they don't decide, they're taking the piss motorhome, is they're parking there and they're not coming in.
Park
and
there
we'll
and
lose
go
this.
somewhere.
And
I mean,
because there is a pub stop over in Newhaven, but they don't let you stop there during the summer months and certain days, the Hope Inn. I mean, that's okay. But honestly, we need to support them, and we really must.
Yeah. Well, I like to go in because
we always will.
The pub here is nice, no frills, ordinary pub. They serve good snacky food, and the price for the beers fine. Not expensive, not cheapest, obviously.
No, ain't the cheapest. No.
But it's certainly not expensive, so it's really good. We like that. So that's it really. So that's us. That's where we are.
Cool. We haven't talked a lot about pubs and food.
We've spent a lot of money on pubs and food this
will be our last. Yeah, this will be our last stop once we get to France. It'll be different.
Well, in the next video, what I did in Europe, I reset the trip counter so I knew that we'd done like 2,300 or 800 miles. I can't remember, but when I came back to the UK, I reset the trip counter. So that I'll know, I haven't looked, so I'll know exactly how many miles I've done since we got off the train until we get back on the train. And what I can tell you is the miles per gallon is only 26.3, and it was nearly 28 in Europe, I think. So lots more shorter journeys, I think. Lots more shorter journeys. But what I do notice is the blooming roads bumpy. In England, what we found is the roads have been so potholy that hangers in the wardrobe have actually bounced so high they've fallen off. All of my t-shirts land in the bottom of the wardrobe. I keep t-shirts like this on hangers so they're easy just to pull out, but they've all landed on the bottom of the wardrobe.
But we've been along, I think, farther as Weymouth, and we've been up to Hereford. We haven't really been up Yorkshire. We were going to go to Yorkshire and all up that area, but we haven't this time, and maybe the road's a bit better up there.
But it's cheaper in Yorkshire.
Yeah, everything might be better up when you get a bit further north. I don't know. But we can't. This time, we have been in the past, but I can't tell you this time. So it's a general. I mean, we wouldn't say all over the UK the roads are bad. I think it might be just a bit south because there's so much traffic on them.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Yes.
We know that we've inspired quite a few of you to take up motorhoming and caravanning. Lots of people have said when they'd met us, you're an inspiration to us. You showed us what can be. Have we inspired you? Are we inspiring you to take up the motorhoming or caravanning travel lifestyle? I mean, I hope we have. I hope we are inspiring you and showing you how it can be done and how simple life can be, especially when you get in your motorhome, you go to Europe. Follow us in Europe and you'll see how simple life can be, how much easier it is than the struggle we have to find parking places in England. It really is a struggle. We tend to park on campsites now and pub car parks. But there you go. Anyway, let us know in the comments, and don't forget, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I don't normally ask people to subscribe, but if you haven't yet subscribed, please do, because you'll get reminders. Click that notification bell. You get reminders for whenever we post up a new video. And some feedback on the little question I asked last time. We said, do you like longer videos or shorts? Which is your preference? Most people said they like longer videos. In fact, one commenter, can't remember your name, sorry, said we prefer epic length. So I think it was feature length. Feature length videos. That's it. Yeah. So I know this has not been quite feature length, but it's getting there. So we've decided that we'll stick to the long videos. We're going to do at least one long video every week. Maybe we'll start to get more into it and start to plan feature length video of, maybe do one feature length every year, a 2-hour video every year of maybe a recap, but we are also doing shorts because I think a lot more people view shorts. That we're getting a lot more views out of shorts, so much so that in the last week when I've been posting shorts, our view count has gone up by about 20%. So obviously people like shorts, but they're not saying that they like shorts. Some people said both. Yeah, so there we go. That's it for today, for this video. Thanks so much for getting this far. Wow, you're a fan.
Yes, thank you very much for watching and your support. Yes,
and we're going to see you in the next one.
Yeah,
and
we will.
Try out some of the shorts if you've not. They're lovely. See you next time. Bye bye for now.
Bye bye everyone.